As always, welcome back to our channel, everyone. Therefore, wherever you are in this vast world, I hope you are all enjoying your day. I have to start with this from Rez before we discuss XRP. Remain locked in. In the third quarter, Braza Bank used BBRL on the XRP ledger to process $1 billion in stablecoin payments for its clients. They see a stablecoin denominated in euros achieving comparable performance in the near future. We are helping financial institutions with real-world issues. Narratives come and go. Stablecoins are becoming increasingly popular, but they all require a bridge. Ripple, XRP, will always be that link. James Selleck is now a member of the Faster Payments Council. Consider this. If XRP and RippleNet were not going to be used in the US, why would Ripple send someone to attend the Faster Payments Council? There would be no point in it. That is how you are aware. There's a lot of discussion about BlackRock introducing a spot XRP ETF because RippleNet and XRP are the future. That story simply won't go away. Everyone is currently concerned about it, and Moonjay responds, "Can someone say NDA?" Listen to Larry Fink right here.
How about an XRP ETF? I know you got Ether out there. How about XRP? Can you answer that?
I can't. And you don't want me to.
I do.
Well, I can't.
All right.
He can't discuss XRP or Ripple, and BlackRock will not pass up this chance. Recall that there were 3 ETFs for Bitcoin, 1 for Ethereum, and 19 for XRP. This is how usefulness and conjecture differ from one another. These ETFs will increase XRP's net inflow by billions.
When you see the demand for XRP, 2 digits loading, BlackRock can't possibly miss this. It's simply not going to happen. They will take advantage of this as well as anything BlackRock says at this time.
Since we've seen how Larry Fink discussed Bitcoin years ago, and then it suddenly became the biggest thing ever once BlackRock discovered how to profit from it, you could just ignore everything he's talking about. They are currently moving to Ethereum. Once they have exhausted that well, they will proceed to XRP, which will indicate that it is time to move on. We've been in a bull run for 10 years, you agree. Check out Tom Lee's music here.
Are we very early in a new bull market? But we've obviously had a extended bull market already.
Yeah, I think that's what confuses folks, because I would say generally we've been up since 2020, but we've had 20% declines since. So in fact, this has been a really disrupted recovery since the 2020 lows. So I think we are in a new bull market because we just had another essentially wipeout that happened February to April this year. I do think that the bigger story arc is that there is a big surge in U.S. prime age workforce. That's the millennials and Gen Z. Plus, they're inheriting a lot of wealth over the next 20 years, which is going to be transformed into more equity exposure, less credit. And the third is that the U.S. is at the center of a lot of the major structural changes taking place, AI and now blockchain. But those are going to really boost financial sector, which could re-rate to like 40% of the S&P. And then, of course, healthcare could benefit. So I think there's a lot to be excited about. And 2035 sounds about right. That would be a 10-year bull run from here.
He mentioned the largest wealth transfer, which is currently the buzz of the town, along with a few other points. But would there be a bull run lasting 10 years? I don't see it. Since no one has ever witnessed a utility run before, I believe we could enter one that would revolutionize the game. The difference is that these utility-driven cryptocurrencies now have a use case, yet no one knows how high their prices can rise. Tom Lee is an Ethereum supporter. Many people believe that Ethereum will disappear in the next 10 years. And I believe that the majority of cryptocurrency investors are correct. Within the next 10 years, he will already be wealthy and retired. However, I do think the 4-year cycle will come to an end. This, in my opinion, will be Bitcoin's final significant surge. Because of its phony tether, it is already headed toward oblivion. Going forward, everyone will demand real value. They want to see their coin truly address a problem in the real world. Regulations that categorize cryptocurrencies will only serve to reinforce this narrative. For example, XRP, XLM, XDC, all of them are cryptocurrencies with a utility component. One speculative asset is Bitcoin. I think Ethereum will probably continue to grow over the next 5 years, but because it is just too costly, it will also eventually become obsolete. Similar to data technology, Ethereum will either need to undergo significant modifications in order to survive the upcoming years. After all, what are Ethereum and Solana going to do as AI and utility-driven cryptocurrencies gain traction? How does that continue when the network is constantly unavailable? I believe that a small number of cryptocurrencies will emerge as the dominant force in the top 10, and it won't be Ethereum, Solana, or Bitcoin. As XRP investors, we will see that change, and this is the reason why. The entire $155 trillion remittance system is going to be replaced by Ripple. Check out Navin Gupta's music here.
How do you think, what is the next move, on Ripple's roadmap, in your opinion? To put you on the spot here.
No, it's very simple. So I think one thing, if there is one message that you can get in this room is, Ripple is not an ordinary company. We are not here to have a small market share or do X, do Y, and make small amount of money or something to happen. We are here to make a dent in the universe. Either we will change the remittance universe, the way you understand, the way value gets transferred across the world, between people, between institutions, or we will just fade away. So it's almost 0 or 1, and some of it comes from our Silicon Valley arrogance. Some of it comes from, that's the reason 6 years ago, we were born with the mission of moving money like information moves today, right? And we are making it possible working with the existing ecosystem. So I think this is a key differentiator about Ripple, and that's the reason we are a monoline company. Every day we get tens of ideas to say, why don't you do security settlement? Why don't you work in trade finance? Why don't you do X, Y, Z? And what we tell them is, just cross-border remittances is $155 trillion problem. We'll solve this first. We'll make a difference to everybody who's present in this room. And once we have made the difference, then only we will look at something else. So we are like, Google is for search, Ripple is for remittances. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to do it right, and we will not rest till we earn your respect and your business.
Navin Gupta is that person. They were on that mission early on, and Ripple has changed a little since then, but he is no longer there. The remittance mechanism and the need not to unlock Nostro Vostro remained in their minds. However, Ripple turned into a one-stop shop as they now have custody and wish to expand their tokenization efforts because the XRP ledger was designed for tokenization. Now, listen to this and see how the XRP ledger has been put to the test.
I also wanted to ask on the front of the plethora of new blockchains launching. I think that's a short way to put it. How do you kind of see XRPL differentiating itself from kind of the pack and all of these different ones that are coming in and out and everything in between?
Yeah. Honestly, I've been excited by the news of a number of different L1s purpose-built, for payments and institutional finance. I think, XRPL was arguably the first blockchain purpose-built for payments over a decade ago, as I mentioned, and seeing others come on the scene is only validating of, hey, we're all working on the right use cases. We're all in it together in terms of this industry, and creating an opportunity for blockchain, which is superior technology to the traditional legacy financial rails, to truly take place and start to support these use cases. And so I see us all as one team in a way, in terms of disrupting some of the old technology that just isn't meeting the needs of institutions and their customers. In terms of XRPL differentiating, it's battle tested. We've been doing on-chain payments for a decade. The network is highly reliable. It's durable. Has not had a hack. Is still operating at the highest levels of efficiency from a cost and speed standpoint. And then in terms of use cases, it's a privilege to have our customers right next door in terms of building payments infrastructure for our payments team, building general blockchain infrastructure for our stablecoin, for our custody team, and now for Hidden Road. So I think bringing all of these pieces together to be able to offer a true, one Ripple solution to real problems in the market, is really what sets us apart from those other chains.
And pay attention to her remarks. Even if these new L1s are constantly appearing, they are not a threat to Ripple or the XRP ledger because it has been proven to be a reliable system. Remember that Ripple has had those rails in place for more than 10 years. So all of these new L1s that are appearing still need to either build out their rails or use the XRP ledger or RippleNet rails to get their entire project on board with the XRP ledger. For years, XRP and Ripple have been seen as the way of the future. XRP and RippleNet cannot be replaced. I think there will be a lot of cooperation in the future, you know? Some of these new cryptocurrencies, in my opinion, have potential use, but they won't be the XRP of the future. XRP is XRP. Many people believe that this is a strong indication that you are already committed to the future. This is something you must hear.
I need help. Okay. Investment. Investing. Don't know what to do, what it is, but I need help. I need help.
Okay, so I would recommend, so me personally, I have 1.3 million in XRP. So right now it's about $2 and something cents, but the community knows that when I know it will bump up to $10, I'm going to be basically set for life. So I would highly recommend buying XRP. Why are you crying?
What the hell did you just say?
XRP. It's.
I couldn't even understand what X could even stand for.
It doesn't stand for anything. It's just like XRP doesn't stand for anything like explicitly. It's just like
I'm screwed. Crypto men, come this way. Help me.
Just put money into XRP and then you're set for life.
Put my money in it.
Or just spend it all. Whatever you want to do.
Well, will the IRS come after me if I they won't come after me if I do that?
You haven't paid taxes in 2 years, so they're gonna come after you anyway.
Not if I had my money in this XPR stuff. Right?
Yeah, you're right. Just do that.
Thus, there are two ways to look at this. First of all, she just told all her millions of followers how to get financial freedom, either with XRP or what the other girl said, XPR. But people are saying this is a top signal. This is not a top signal. In fact, I think we'll see a lot of new XRP investors because of this clip. But the girl that has over $1 million in XRP at $10 and Alex Kopp thinks it's hit $10 by Q4 of this year, I agree. I think we will most likely be in double digits by the end of 2025, and then the major blow-off top would happen in 2026. Or we go into a full-blown utility run and XRP runs all throughout next year. But if XRP runs throughout all of next year, we're in a utility run. Expect the same for XLM, XDC, and so on. But think about that. She's most likely going to make about 11 grand or $11 million once XRP reaches $10, depending on when she initially put in the $1.3 million investment. Now, if she bought when XRP was at 50 cents, she's going to make a hell of a lot more money. But I look at it like this. It doesn't matter what you invest into this cryptocurrency, as long as you have a game plan. You don't need to put $1 million in. Most people, most retail investors, they're investing like 10K into XRP, and most people got to that $10,000 over time. Other people have less, but it doesn't really matter because you are on your way to passive income. You don't even have to sell your XRP, and it's not you buy XRP, wait for the price to run up and sell anymore. Not with Flare opening up passive income. Imagine if we entered a bear market at this very moment. You can make money with your XRP in a few different ways. That wasn't available in 2022 and 2023. For XRP investors, these alternatives are finally becoming available, or you can cash out and make another investment. You are aware that there are numerous options for your investments. I've always told folks that I want to invest and that if I do withdraw my funds from cryptocurrency, I want to do so quickly and easily. To put it another way, I want to have a turnkey business where I just need to be there maybe once or twice a week, not every day. But each person is unique. Since everyone has a different lifestyle, I am unable to advise you on how much XRP you should hold. The common response is, give it to me straight. At this moment, how much XRP should I have? You go and observe the direction of this market. What are the current pricing forecasts? You may anticipate receiving at least that much for your XRP if you look at the most conservative pricing projections. Naturally, you will need to invest a lot more money in XRP if your lifestyle demands that you have millions of dollars. However, if you intend to purchase a typical home rather than a mansion, you won't require as much XRP, and the majority of us will gradually accumulate wealth, particularly if you don't intend to sell your XRP. But until it all comes together, have patience, maintain your optimism, and let's make money together. That being said, I will now conclude this video. Thank you for watching, everyone. Whew.